So my mission literally for the rest of my life is to help 1 million entrepreneurs and business owners create a rewarding business that fulfills their lifestyles. She does eyelashes. Well, when COVID hit, her salon was shut down. So she came to me and said, well, you keep doing this marketing thing. What about you help me now to do something with my business because my salon is shut down? I'm like, cool. In order to scale, like you don't even have to do that because now you got ChatGPT and you literally can go and type in exactly their headlines, their website URL, their copy of the ad, everything that you want, and just tell it to rewrite it. Hi guys, everybody had an impressive lunch. All right, so first of all, I want to say thanks to William for having me here today. And I got to go back to what Nick said just a little bit of time ago. He talked about the choices that you have to make because you're responsible for everything that you do. And then two, the numbers. You need to make sure that you put some specific metrics on your end goal. But the first one is choices. So my one word is uncomfortable. And this came to me recently, just about 2 months ago. A good friend of mine, Evan Carmichael, some of you might know him. He's a big YouTuber. He teaches this concept of finding your one word because everything is going to pretty much evolve around that one word. So my one word is uncomfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I learned this about a year ago from my jiu-jitsu coach. For those of you that ever train BJJ, sometimes you have a 200-pound guy on top of you trying to choke you out. And as uncomfortable as that feels, it teaches you a lot about yourself in those moments. So I have to use some slides because some of the stuff that I'm going to share with you is fairly technical, but I'll try to keep it short. And then we'll dive into some specific use cases. But by show of hands, let me see how many of you have a local business who sells something locally, right? And what about online businesses? Anything that has to do coaching, e-commerce products? Cool. All right, perfect. So fancy title, this is my favorite thing. So my specialty is client acquisition, mainly through paid ads, but I have some pretty cool tips on applying it with organic traffic as well. So what I'm going to show you is literally my tried and true methods since 2015. So I immigrated to the States in 2013. I'm originally from Eastern Europe. I brought my wife here actually in 2013. I was here in 2012. Then I went back a couple months. And that was my biggest sell. When Nick asked, what's your biggest accomplishment? That was selling the American dream to my wife. She couldn't speak a word of English. All her family was there. And I said, whatever I said. But I convinced her to move across the globe with me. And we've been together since then. So this fancy title pretty much just means to sell more shit so you can do more of what you love. Not the other way around. I'm a big believer into whatever you do in your business should fulfill your lifestyle and not just try to always chase, oh, I'm not going to start my business because it's not something that I love. I feel like we all have different journeys in our lives, and sometimes you just have to do the shit that sucks. And Mike Tyson said this, you just have to be disciplined because discipline is doing something that you hate, but doing it as you love it. And sometimes you just have to go through that in order to make things happen. So the real test for what I'm about to share with you is it works. The strategy works really well for businesses that have to educate the consumers before they sell it. And AKA those are just sales calls. How many of you do sales calls yourself or you have a sales team? Cool, perfect. So all of this and on top of it, you can probably bring up any kind of industry and I'll show you how this can apply. So getting clients, obviously, fancy words and all that, it's cool. But at the end of the day, a lot of people have this thought that you have to just grind your ass off and post daily. And because you see Gary Vee and all these big names telling you that, but a lot of times we don't look behind the curtain to see that they have big teams. So I'll show you how you can actually do it, even if you're a one-person show. Because let me ask you this actually, when you start your business, what's the most important thing? Yeah, and then if we go exactly. So are the lifeblood of any business, doesn't matter what do you do, what do you sell. So here I am in 2012, came to US for the first time. Clearly one of the only phrases that I knew was, are you guys hiring? So I didn't have the entrepreneurial mindset. I came here, I got a job, and then I got a second one and a third one. So for 3 years straight, that was my only mindset, to just work my ass off 7 days a week, 3 jobs every single day just to save some money. It wasn't any entrepreneurial goals at that point. However, going back to what Nick said recently, choices and decisions, right? So I always had in my mind, my end goal was to build a life, build the American dream here in the US. And it started with really small goals. Like first goal when I moved was, not get a job until I get a social security card. So that was a small goal. Then get a driver's license so I can drive and get my ass to work, so I don't have to use my bike every day because I got hit by a taxi driver and almost fucked up my knee, right? So all these little goals are important to set up. Now, relate that in your own business. Sometimes you just have to set small goals in order to achieve the bigger one. So I saved every penny for about 2.5 years. At some point in time, we decided it's time to go into a short honeymoon. So we went to DR, but my problem was I was still employed at the time. So what I realized, instead of me enjoying my time with my wife in DR, I was thinking at the fact that I'm not back in Boston and I'm losing money. Fucked up mindset if you think about it. But that was the time that that was the trigger that said to me, you need to make sure that you can build something that can make you money even when you're not there. So I came back to Boston. I bought a truck. So after 2.5 years, I saved up about $25K. I bought a box truck and I started delivering some furniture to some stores locally. About 7 months in, we hit about $200,000 to $300,000 in sales. And what happened was, I shared this story with a couple of guys last night. Being an immigrant requires you to file a bunch of immigration paperwork. So every 7 to 8 months, I had to pay a lawyer to extend my status here in the States. So he rips me off of 10K, 5K for me, 5K for my wife, because he submitted 2 applications that went back to back, and they were hitting on different purposes. My wife went to apply for F1 visa, which is a student, and I applied for being a resident. Because we were together legally, those 2 applications both got canceled. And a week later, I got a deportation letter in my mail saying you have 3 days to leave the country. If not, you're going to become an illegal immigrant. So I'm like, fuck, man, I just saved up I just used all my savings, bought a truck, built a business. And the business was 6 figures in, but it was profitable already. What do I do next? So what happened was, eventually, 2 days later, buy a plane ticket, fly back to Romania. At this point, I had a business partner which stayed in Boston and ran all the operations, but I was the one handling all the marketing and all the sales calls. So for 7 months while I was in Bucharest, I lived on US time zone, taking all the sales calls through a VoIP system and making sure that I can run all the marketing campaigns. So I really call it a blessing and a curse at the same time, because I was able to remove myself from the business operations day to day, and I really dived into what eventually became my specialty, which is marketing, client acquisition, and everything that came afterwards. So my mission, literally for the rest of my life, is to help 1 million entrepreneurs and business owners create a rewarding business that fulfills their lifestyles. So as you can see, eventually what happened, I started to enjoy going on vacation, started to speak on some events, was on Bradley's podcast, speaking at other events. I interviewed some of the guys in here you might know. So if you go to iTunes or Spotify, you'll pretty much be able to listen to all these guys on my podcast. So let's dive into the 3 phases of generating clients with the process that I'm about to share with you. First one is strategy. So number 1 is leads are the lifeblood of any business. Then number 2, we'll dive into how to never compete. And I know a lot of people nowadays talk about building a personal brand. I'll show you how you should actually think twice before you start a personal brand versus a business brand. The main reason is you're not going to be able to exit the personal brand. You're able to pivot it. And I'll show you one of my favorite case studies, which is my wife's business. And 3, how to use a very cheap method to become omnipresent. If you guys relate to, you go on Amazon, you find a product, and then that thing, if you don't buy it, it follows you all over the internet. I'll show you how to do just that pretty cheap. So we got a couple stages. At first, you got customers, dream customers, that might be problem unaware. They don't even know they have a problem that you can solve them with the services or product that you sell. Then there'll be people that know that they have a problem, but they don't know what's the solution. Then they know what the solution is. Now they search for things like, think about a plumber, like plumbers near me, roofers, things like that. And then you have where you want to be is when they search for your name. When people search for the name of your business, or the brand in this case, it puts you in the most favorable spot. Why? Because nobody competes with your brand name, unless you have some smart competitors that might bid on those keywords. But this leads me to this. We all heard this, right? It's not about what you know, it's who you know. Everybody agree? Exactly. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. And that's actually traffic. So I'll cover two types of traffic. We got search, which is pretty much dominated by Google, #1 search engine. And then the second biggest search engine is YouTube. And then we got interruption marketing channels, which are your Facebooks, your Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Pinterest. But let's look at some important case studies. So if somebody goes to Google and searches for plumbers near me, that person has the intent of hiring a person that needs, right? Like you need a plumber. Let's say your bathroom is all messed up. You go to Google, whoever pops up first, you call it, ask for them to come over, then you paid it. But then you have on Google, you also, because pretty much in our business, the most common question is, but what should I even create content about, or what should I make my content topics? Literally, you don't even have to use any tools. You go to Google and people will type in there, and you'll see in there, it says, people also ask. This is directly from Google, right? Then you have the people that search for how to unclog a sink. And then if you go to YouTube, then you'll see the same thing. But now we have two different intents. People that want to hire a service provider, and then you have people that want to do it themselves. So be aware of this. Then we have, I don't know if you guys know this, but TikTok is also a search engine. So nowadays you go to TikTok and search for different services. It will show you, as long as you type in on these three dots and filter it to the most relevant, then you can see what others search for. So now you have all of these topics that people are literally typing in on TikTok. Same thing on Pinterest. They now accept vertical videos, so it's pretty much becoming a regular, but Pinterest, it's also a search engine, especially for woman products. Last night we talked a little bit about real estate investing. Same thing, you type in the topic, you'll see who pops up first, and then you can actually see what other people are searching for when it comes to these topics. This is one of the, that I put this slide is, a lot of people, especially in online marketing, they forget about Google My Business. It's one of the most powerful apps that you can install. It's for free. It doesn't matter if you have a podcast, if you have a commerce brand, if you have any kind of service, even if you just sell online, you should have a Google My Business for your brand. It's free. And then all the questions that you see what people ask for, you can create content about those things. And then, of course, the stuff that goes into ads where you can research your competitors. It's called interruption marketing, because why? Think about how you use Facebook and all these other platforms. We're literally just what Nick said, we finger fucking all of our phones, right? So this brings me to the big difference, right? We got organic and then we got paid ads. For some reason, I don't know how long ago, this almost became a word. Like you have so many people talking about strictly organic, so many people talking about strictly paid ads. I don't know why. There's not a lot of context about connecting these two instead of competing. Like you can do both. You can create these videos and then boost them for literally $1 to $5 a day and get your stuff in front of the people that need it the most. So the most important platforms for organic is obviously Google My Business or Google My Business Profile, WordPress if you have a blog, then YouTube, especially for search topics. YouTube, again, it's the second search engine in the world. And then we have TikTok, Pinterest, IG. And then for ads, I'll focus mainly on Instagram DM ads today because most of you guys sell over the phone. So that's, in my opinion, recently, over the last year to 14 months, the most powerful method that we've seen. So I'm a big believer into do not reinvent the wheel. Don't copy, but model what works. There's no point to try to reinvent the wheel. So we use a Chrome extension. It's called Keywords Everywhere. You can see exactly the topics that, say, in this case, we're talking about fitness. You type in on Keywords, you install the Chrome extension, and then let's say a topic like how to lose weight fast. It's got 673,000 searches a month. Like that's mind blowing if you think about it. But knowing, and you got advertisers paying between 38 to 49 cents to put their content in front of those topics. So think about what's Let's go into some specific case studies. Give me one business. How to start a podcast. So you type in on YouTube how to start a podcast, you'll literally see how many people are searching for that, as long as you have installed the keywords everywhere Chrome extension. And it'll tell you how much people are paying for, how much advertisers are paying to be ranking in front of that with YouTube ads. That's why that's so important, because now you know, if this one has this many searches a month, but there's not a lot of people that are paying for it, it'll say here, look, 0, right? Like how to lose weight fast for girls. Well, this is probably not real. I don't think it's $0, but you get the point. So you'll see how much people are willing to put their credit cards behind those topics. Then you go strictly just on YouTube. Let's say you don't want a Chrome extension, it's free, and then you pay like $10 for like 10,000 credits, meaning how many searches you can do in there. So it's pretty cheap. Then you can use just YouTube, and you'll see that the trick here, once you type in, let's say, how to start a podcast, the trick is to look at the channels that have low number of subscribers, but high number of views. Those are the topics that you want to go after, because it means it's a really high demand and really highly searched topic, but there's not big channels. Because if you're just starting out, you're not going to be able to, let's say if Dr. Mike has 1 million subs, any video that he posts is going to get some thousands of views, right? So, but if Dr. Mike has 1 million subscribers and he's got a video that's got 10 million views, that's a video that you want to go after. That's a topic and a title that you want to go after. So you want to identify what are the type of videos that are relevant with lots of views. Again, what I was just saying, low number of subs, high number of views. And you want to look not older than one, like in this case, this one, see, it shows 6 years ago. Ideally, if you see that that's the first or top 3 videos, it means nobody else has created another video with this title within the last couple years. So that's also a great way to hack that. Then you identify competitor channels. Just gave the examples for fitness, but it's the same exact thing. Like in how to start a podcast, you go Pat Flynn and all the other guys. Yeah. Now, this is the case study for my wife's business. So she ran a beauty salon. She does eyelashes. Well, when COVID hit, her salon was shut down. So she came to me and said, well, you keep doing this marketing thing. What about you help me now to do something with my business, because my salon is shut down. I'm like, cool. In order to scale any business, especially locally, because that was my expertise, we would have to start a salon in every major city. But she said, no, fuck that. I don't want employees. Give me another one. And I said, well, we first have to, not first, but we have to scale you vertically. It's not a problem you don't want employees, but we have to scale your skill set. So I went to Google and I type in how to apply eyelash extensions. And then I see who's running ads against those keywords to sell courses. I didn't even know that she could sell a course that typically would require a girl to be in person to get done. So I found a bunch of competitor websites that were selling courses. So I'm like, this is your business model. Then we went to search to see, does someone searches for a lash extension online course? Guess what? Of course, we got other competitors targeting that same exact phrase. A second thing, once you identify these competitors on YouTube and Google, you can actually go to Facebook and Instagram. But think about this. Paid traffic, it's pretty much just a gasoline. If there's no fire, meaning your sales process, your offer, if it's not already proven, we were just talking about this a couple minutes ago. If you're a one-person show, and if you don't have at least a 10K a month, 5 to 10K a month proven offer that sells, there's no point to really put more gas on what? Because the fire is not there. Like, you don't sell something that's already proven, it's really hard to, you're just gonna make more of nothing. Like, it's really that simple. So if you go to facebook.com/ads/library, you already know the competitors that you're going against. You type their names, you pretty much see all their ads. Like a couple of years ago, I don't know, 5 years ago, you would have had to pay a lot of money to be able to get this information. Now it's pretty much open for free. So guess what? And this is the most important thing. You can see here, this ad is active and it started running on July 12th, 2023. Anybody can tell me what does that mean? Exactly. It's more than 6 months that this company's been running these ads. So nobody's going to pay more than a couple weeks of promoting something if it doesn't work. That's why when you see your competitors running an ad that's been going on for at least 2 months, it means it's a winning product. Then you can do the same thing on TikTok to a certain extent. You go to ads.tiktok.com and then you type in Creative Center, and then you'll be able to go and see what are the most successful campaigns, even targeting individual industries. Once you identify the winning ad, guess what? You can also see their exact website, funnels, landing pages, and all the rest. Now, most people will think, well, I'm just going to copy their ads and I'm just going to win too. No. Why? Like, you don't even have to do that, because now you got ChatGPT and you literally can go and type in exactly their headlines, their website URL, their copy of the ad, everything that you want, and just tell it to rewrite it for your own audience. Like, you almost don't even need a copywriter, especially if you're within the first couple of years of a business. These are one of the most powerful scripts that we use with some of our customers. So you can literally tell it to tell ChatGPT to put frustrations, desires, dreams, and fears of your target audience in a table format, and to make content topics around it. So, when I typed in my ideal audience, it literally gave me desires. It's efficient, AI-driven content creation, high visibility on Google and YouTube. What's the frustration? Inconsistent lead gen, dreams, predictable and sustainable client acquisition, fears, wasting budget on ads. Pretty simple, exactly what I knew. But they literally put it into table formats with titles that now I just create videos about it. Pretty simple. Same thing, you ask it to give you engagement type of topics, authority, sales, and then it just breaks it down for you in terms of what type of videos you should create, headlines, landing pages. If you don't know what to use it for, you literally ask it, what can I use ChatGPT as a whatever business you're in? And it's going to tell you what you can use it for. Am I going too fast? No. Yes? Go ahead before I go. At the end, it's a thing, you'll get them all for free. So this is what I started talking about. So you want to get to a point where you never compete with all the other people. So when it comes to whatever service you're doing, when people are searching for, let's say, real estate agent near me, right? If you do that, you're going to have to pay, and it's a time, and for that too, especially if you're just starting out as a real estate agent, let's say, you will have to do portion of the campaign, but it doesn't have to stop there. The way to never compete and dominate your industry is to make sure that people are searching for the name of either the name of the brokerage that you're in, or well, in that case, they're getting all the recognition, but you get the point. So if you think about it, what is a brand? It doesn't have to be related just to the personal brand, like as yourself as a person. Like, not all of us are born to be Gary Vee, right? You can build the name, the brand of your business, and it's a product. It can be a product, a service, or a concept that it's publicly distinguished from other products. That's the simplest way to kind of think about this. How do you differentiate yourself, and how do you communicate that to the market? So when I shared the case study for my wife, the biggest problem with her was her business was just the salon itself. And I'm like, how do I get yourself out of the salon, so if we want to sell or franchise the salon, can still be done, and you can sell courses at the same time without actually be involved and related to the salon. So I differentiated 3 income streams for her. So we have the personal brand on the left, because she's the one that teaches all the classes. So she has online courses and she sells in person a certification program. So that's her personal brand. The salon itself sells eyelash services. It's only 1 employee and her, so it's only 2 people. She didn't want more. I said, perfect, there's not a problem. But eventually, if we want to exit the salon or franchise it, the courses are not affected at all. She can still sell certifications and online courses without these 2 being affected. Then this one took a little longer. For you guys that are familiar with e-commerce, it takes a little bit to find the right person on Alibaba and all the other platforms to get to the quality of the products. But she built an actual product line, and the products can be sold Now they're being sold to all the students that get the certification and the online courses. But technically, if the salon sells, these two are not affected. If the product line gets sold, these two are not affected, right? Herself wants to be known as the lash trainer because that's the thing that she enjoys doing and she does all the content around that. But now, how do you replicate this is you just have to audit yourself and see where do you fit yourself. Do you want to build a personal brand or do you want to build a business brand? And that's when it comes to the brand searches versus everyone else. This is what we did. Like the goal was to slash lead cost. So I'll show you in a couple of slides. People that were searching for lash training near me we were paying 140 a lead. But then people that were searching for Limit Lashes Academy were only paying 28. So that price difference is like 4 or 5 times. So how do you do that? The strategy is increase brand name searches, but how do you force people in a way to search for your brand name instead of the actual thing that they need? So you run video views campaigns, because those are the cheapest, to generate as much traffic as possible under the brand name. So think about yourself when you see an ad, what do you typically do? You click on the person name to see if it's full of shit or if it's actually making sense what the person says, right? Like you click on their Instagram channel or on the YouTube channel. You don't just click and buy something. That's pretty much what we do because we get bombarded by thousands of ads a day. So again, going back to the same model, if you search for plumbers and me, now you target all the Google ads over there. But if you search for whatever the name is, Router Plumbing, now all their locations pop up and there's no competition. Even they know they're smart and they run brand search campaigns against their own name. So that's even smarter. It's a little more advanced because sometimes you do have competitors running ads against your own name.